I'm going to walk you through the steps that I use to hand build my pieces. So yeah, I think these videos are going to be perfect for anyone who's looking to explore pottery, learn about what goes into making ceramics, or these would also be helpful for someone who's part of a community studio but maybe wants to spend more time at home really exploring the craft. So yeah, these are some tips to practice your skills, make some things, but not to splurge on a pottery wheel for your home studio.
So this is going to be part 1 of a series, I think. So today is going to be
from the wet clay, as in like building the form, smoothing it out, and basically up until it gets ready to dry out. Alright, this is going to be step 1, prepping the clay. Let's get started.
The first step is grabbing a fresh block of clay and starting the wedging process. This is one of the most important steps to ensure the clay is solid and free from air bubbles. Wedging compacts the clay and it aligns the particles so it makes it easier to work with. And I like to spend a little extra time here just to make sure that the clay feels uniform and that it's ready to go. The next step is using a rolling pin to create a slab of clay. Depending on the project, the thickness of the slab will vary, but generally I aim for about 1/4 inch. It's pretty crucial that the roll is even, and you gotta check for trapped air bubbles to achieve a smooth surface. Sometimes I like to use these wood planks to make sure I don't roll the piece too thin. It's a very helpful tip if you want to make sure you have a uniform slab. Having a good slab really sets the foundation for a successful piece. Once the slab is prepped, I either cut out shapes for the hand building process or I use mold for a simpler, quicker process. For example, I might cut a basic circle or rectangle, lay it over the mold to create a form. And as I shape the clay around the mold, I smooth it with my hands and a regular sponge, working to create an even, uniform surface. At this stage, it's important to remember not to try to make anything too perfect. For one, handmade imperfections are here, and that's what makes each piece unique. But also later on in the process, we're going to trim and then polish it before it goes in the kiln. To do this, I'll use a drywall mesh sandpaper, and I smooth out the surface to ensure a very refined finish. If I decide that I want to add a foot to either a plate or a bowl, I'll do it at this step. I use a lazy Susan or a rotating cake platter to spin it by hand, which I can then apply techniques that are similar to those that you would use on a regular pottery wheel. It allows me to create a clean, balanced base for the form. I'll stamp the bottom of my work with my signature to mark it as my own. Small detail I feel like ties everything together and just gives the piece a really personal touch.
Part one of my hand building techniques series that are easy to use at home, even if you don't have access to a pottery wheel. If you do have a wheel, I encourage you to try this out. It's always nice to improve your skills. Please. Please.
Again, I appreciate you listening to me up here, and I will see you in the next video.